Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We are back, final day for the CCS BC Championships being broadcast out of the Lakeside Resort in beautiful Penticton, British Columbia. We have Stroke of Genius versus Hammer Time. This is the B final. I will set the stage for you on Hammer Time. We have Marv Joe, we have Matt Jansen, Terry McDonald, Tom Joyce, and Tony Jacobs versus Stroke of Genius. This is a Calgary team. Clint Bearspaw, Greg Cairns, Jeff Joliffe, Justin Beavis, Phil Dennis, Steve Free, ready to battle it out. They are just underway. And we are at it.
Justin Beavis isn't here.
I don't think Justin is here.
He's on their roster, but
yeah. What's going on, Jerry? Jim, what's going down, buddy? How did your match go? We finished in the 5-6 spot on the bubble.
Yep.
We actually finished and got put out by Hammer Time. Terry, what's going on? Hanging out with us, joining in from Toronto. And guys, help us out. Get that share button rocking. We are back with commentary. We'll have the finals after this match. It is who's in the hot seat? Let's take a look.
Miss Q's Chocolat, the guys that put us to the B side.
Right.
Mikasu, that's it.
Yeah. That is Phil Taranjo's team.
Yeah.
They were always going to be the ones to beat.
Mikasu Chocolat. He better watch how much he chalks with that $30 chalk.
Yeah, right.
It gets a little pricey. He's using that Taum.
Yeah. So on the left-hand table we have Tom. He is shooting for Hammer Time.
Versus Greg.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good here. He's got, I think that's the 11 ball. I believe the 14 will also go to the same pocket. He tried to light it, take 14 to the bottom right, which still works. Might have to draw a little bit on this. I don't think I'd want to go forward and crash into this 5 ball. I think I'm going to put a good bottom left-hand stroke on that cue ball, come off the left-hand side rail and back across for the 10 ball. He did go forward. Got a nice little rub off the 5 ball. He's looking pretty straight, though.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a little straight.
8 will go into the left-hand bottom by the 5 ball. Nice little roll-up shot. Kenny, thanks for tuning in. And Deborah, we enjoy having you. There is our pin master, David Wilson, hung out with us for most of the weekend.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming down and hanging out with us, David. Keeping us fed our Tim Hortons. This will be a nice run from Tom here. 8 ball past the 5. Into the bottom left for the win. There it is. Hammer Time with the draw of first blood.
Steve shooting good on the other table here.
Yeah,
though.
Steve Free looking to even it up. 8 ball into the top right-hand corner. And once again, guys, if you are just tuning in, smash that share button. Let's get her going. This is the B-side final. We'll have one more broadcast today. That'll be the A-side final of the B division.
Mandy,
and
how
that
you doing?
That will give us a wrap.
Yep.
It's been an awesome time here in Penticton. We always have a good time at this event. We will be live again starting a week Tuesday. We'll be out in
March 12th.
Yeah, we'll be out in Niagara Falls. Absolutely, David. Come on down to Calgary. We'll show you around. What's going on, Jeff from Nebraska?
That was a 15-and-a-half-hour drive for
David
to
yeah.
come see us each way.
Yeah, to come hang out. We really appreciate it. That coffee was one of the only things that kept me going while David was here. I was absolutely blasted tired by the time I got here.
Well, scratch on the break brings Clint to the table with a nice looking table.
Indeed. Hey, you're welcome, Mandy. What's going on, John? How you been?
Phil's in his own world.
So it is Phil Dennis coming up on the right-hand table versus Marv. We've got Clint Bearspaw up at the table on the left-hand table for Stroke of Genius. What's going on, Grant? We're doing well. We are final day here at Lakeside Resorts in Penticton. It is final day for CCS BC Championships. Finally glad to be back on the mic. Although it would have been a little bit better, a little bit of a sweeter victory for us if we were playing in it, but that was not in our cards. So here we are back on the mic. We finished in the 5th, 6th spot.
Yeah, we're going to save it up for the Canadians. We're going to win that one.
That's the one, yeah. Preparing for Canada-style weather, supposed to be 20 below. Absolutely. It's going to be a cold one. We're heading back to Calgary tomorrow, and as I mentioned, we'll be live again. We might go live maybe on the weekend. Might do a Q&A maybe. And then we fly out to Niagara Falls early Monday morning, get everything set up, and we'll be looking to go live again on Tuesday. Hey, thanks, Gary. Much appreciated. Riley,
yeah,
are
awesome job.
Yeah, really, really well done. Your game has come up such a long way. It was a pleasure seeing you again, Riley. Always is. Maybe one of these days you'll come out to Niagara Falls with us.
Or come to Calgary and try out one of the tournaments. Come to Calgary
for sure.
Why just shoot against the 5 guys from Jet Setters here when you can come play 20 guys close to the same caliber in Calgary?
Yeah. Yeah. Would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Hey, thanks, Lou. We certainly did our best. It wasn't all covered. It wasn't all commentary. That's the hard part when there's 2 of us. We both play on the same team, and trying to get all the coverage done. But we did the best that we could when all of us, when Ryan and I are playing on the same team. And
well, that and the hours we got to put in. I mean, sometimes we're just too tired. We got to take a break and get something to eat. Or
well, that was kind of my case. I was wiped out before I started.
I've been feeling sick all week. Stomach's not doing too well. But yeah, it's my favorite tournament of the year. This one, come out to this venue. But
yeah, I've got a couple of them. Niagara Falls is another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think my 2 all-time that I really try to play good in is actually coming up, one of them, which is the Alberta Bar Box that's in Red Deer, Alberta. We'll be streaming that one the weekend after we finish up at in Niagara Falls. Absolutely, David. You know what? That it'll bring back some memories, I can tell you. It'll be one of those emotional type of tournaments where we know Barry will be looking in. His energy is greatly missed. You know what? I haven't won since you left, David.
No, neither have I. You're the lucky one.
It has been a long 2 weeks, Jeff. I got to tell you. I'm looking forward to going home, having a few days off. I'll go back to doing my regular job for a bit. Ryan, Ben, and I have a meeting scheduled this week at some point. And then maybe go live with a Q&A, maybe Saturday. We'll see what happens.
How about it?
Hey, thanks, Jenny. We certainly appreciate it, guys. Hanging out with us all week here has been awesome. Really, really good tournament. Thanks to the CCS for bringing us out here again. Lakeside Resorts, always a good time here. Really well run tournament. Shannon Benson. Does an absolute phenomenal job. So Phil Dennis at the table on the right-hand side. I believe he's shooting low ball. He's got to find a way to get back on that 6 ball. Nice stroke there. 2 ball is next. Might be able to take the 5 ball here, actually. I think I'm going to take the 5 ball. I think he's got just enough angle. He can still punch that 5 ball in into the top left. A touch of draw to give himself a really nice angle to get onto that 3 ball. The 3 ball gets you to the 6, and from there, you are good to go. He sees it a different way. He's going to take the 2 ball. Absolutely, David. One of the ones that we've been working on for a while. JB Cases in the house. A new sponsor for Q Sports Live. Looking forward to working with JB Cases, finding out exactly what deals that we can bring home to our CSL viewers, and just really looking forward to it. We do get a couple of cases that we'll have, myself, Ryan, and Ben, that we can give you kind of the inside goods on exactly how everything is done, how they're made. The quality of JB Cases is second to none. They are top of the line. So really, really, really.
That'll be, yeah, looking forward. Let's get to design our own.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to it. Bohica should go to Niagara. Tom is getting just a little excited. Take it down that way.
Yeah, anybody in Canada can. And I think any ACS players are welcome to come up too.
ACS players can come up and play in the singles. They can put a team in if you're. So this tournament being the Westerns, I believe is from Winnipeg West. Niagara Falls being the Canadians is open to anybody.
No, I thought you were welcome to come to any tournament. We'll have to confirm with Ted, but
yeah.
Yes, they can.
Oh, Josh,
they'll make a dealer case.
They do make dealer cases, Gary. You
Jerry
got it.
Prevail's got one.
Yeah. Yeah, really looking forward to working with JB Cases. We're going to figure out exactly what kind of a special deal we can muster up. So stay tuned if you are in the market for a new case. Hold up a little bit. Give me a week. Let me see what I can come up with. What's happening on the table here? I believe this is Gary on the left hand for hammer time. I think he's shooting at that 3 ball. I will, Chris, for sure. Oh no, okay, he's high ball.
There was a 3 in that number.
It
was a 13.
It was, yeah. I thought he was stroking at the low ball. But I absolutely will, Chris. I'll let everybody know. I'll be talking with John Barton here at some point this week. Figure out exactly what we can do, and I will let you know as soon as we know. Patrick, how's it going? Jeremy, man, you got it. It is pool night in Canada.
Yep.
In fact, we can call it world. We're followed by 63 countries around the world, so it's world pool night. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. You know it. I'll figure out kind of all the details on exactly how we can make it happen, what we can do. Now, JB Cases, in case there are people out there that haven't heard of them, don't know about them, the absolute best case money can buy when it comes to pool cue cases. You can take your cues, put them in the case, take that and run it over with your vehicle, and your cues will be absolutely fine. They guarantee their quality for a lifetime. You can get kind of off-the-shelf JB cases, some that are in stock, or you can design your own case, including the materials, the colors. There's thousands of different combinations that you can put in. They do all kinds of custom work, phenomenal. Like I can't say enough about them. Their workmanship is through the roof, and really looking forward to it. So we will figure out the functionality of how we can make it all happen, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. I'll try to get that figured out here this week, and we'll be ready to announce that come Niagara Falls. Yeah, I will. I was totally out of it the other night, Gary, I'll tell you. I've never, as long as we've been doing Q Sports Live, and this is the honest to God truth, guys, I have never been so tired at a tournament before, ever. For whatever reason, at this tournament, I was absolutely exhausted. So you didn't hear me on the mic there for about a day and a half, and I was just absolutely beat. Not that I was up in my room resting. We were still playing pool at that point, but I was absolutely exhausted.
Shot, Tony.
Yeah, Reed, we kind of got there a week too early. But Penticton is kind of in the middle of the mountains. It is along the Shuswap. It's God's country here. It is absolutely beautiful. Penticton is kind of a smaller town or smaller city. I can't even call it a city. It's just a small town. But the players we've had here, let me see if I can let you know what the draws were on everything. So the men's single in the C, there was 80 entrants. In the B, 52. In the A, there was 19. That's in singles. In 8-ball. 9-ball, there was 79 entries. Ladies 8-ball was 9 in the A. 25 players in the B. 31 in the C. In the men's B, there were 111 teams. In the C, there was 221. Nope, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong numbers. Men's team 8-ball, 21 teams. Men's C is 41 teams. 5 in the A teams. So, I mean, the entries have been phenomenal. And it's such a well-run tournament. It's Shannon Benson that's here on this one. Pacific Vending, phenomenal job. What's going on, Mr. Dayton? Yeah, absolutely, David. Yeah, like I say, you can't get better than JB Cases. This is why we are extremely excited about working with JB Cases. The quality, the craftsmanship, durability, lifetime guarantee, absolute tops. You can't. We couldn't get a better case company to work with. So again, I'll figure out exactly what it is that we can do and how we can do it and the functionality. I'm going to try my best to get all that figured out with John here this week. And once we know that, hopefully I can release all of that information come Niagara Falls. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Gary. It's like I say, the quality, the craftsmanship, the durability, the design. You can get off-the-shelf JB custom cases that are absolutely phenomenal, or you can custom design them yourself. Everything is done on the website. And again, it's one of those sponsors that again we want to make sure that. Sorry, guys, got yelling in the background. We want to make sure that they are well cared for here at Q Sports Live, that we give them the shout outs, and hopefully the viewers will help us out there as well in hitting them up on Facebook, liking their Facebook page, send them a message, let them know that you heard them here on Q Sports Live. Glenn, these are 3.5 by 7, also known as the bar box, 4.5-inch pockets, so they are a little bit big. And we got Tom Joyce on the right-hand table, shooting for hammer time. Looks to be fairly in control of this table. Nice little roll-up shot on the 11. I'd be taking the 9 after that. You know it, Rob. There is our pin master, David Wilson, sharing with you the website for JB Cases. Oh, 100%. You know it. All those little pockets and so on and so forth, if you don't keep them cleaned out and organized, not the way you treat your equipment. Keep it organized. Yeah, that's because our cameras are about 7, maybe 7.5 feet in the air. So it does kind of elongate the tables a little bit. And Tom looking really, really good. Nice little touch shot there. I don't believe the 8 will pass the 5 to the side pocket. So a couple of ways you can play this is tops, put the cue ball on the left side rail, 8 to the right-hand side. Look out, 1 ball. I don't know if he got there. He did. Right away points to that bottom right hand. But I don't know. By the look of how that looks on the camera, I don't think he's got enough angle to hit that. He might have to shave that into the right side. But we'll see. He's eyeing it up. In the heart. Very nice job. Very nice. Phil Dennis approaching the table on the right-hand side. He'll be breaking for Stroke of Genius. And we've got, I don't know the name of the individual at the table on the left. Might be Matt. Or is that Tony? I think it's Tony. Tony at the table on the left-hand side here. Shooting at the low ball. He's got work to do here. He's got to get down to that cluster. Look outside pocket. Horn shape. He might have that 5-2. That's not terrible given the cluster down at the bottom there. Or sorry, at the top. Could also play a safety, roll the 5 up, but that's a really, really touchy shot. Matt on the left. Thanks, David. Nice catch, Paul. I'll correct Ryan. Oops. There we go. You are correct. It is Stroke of Genius. But they're also stoked to be playing. Phil Dennis with the break. Wow, rare miss from Clint Bearspaw. However, not terrible. He tied up the 8 ball. Good news, bad news. Bad news, he missed the shot. Good news is he's tied up the 8 ball. That leaves Matt again with some work to do. So I think the shot here is the 4 ball, top left-hand pocket. Put some left-hand spin on that cue ball and go off that left side rail, use the 12 as a stopper. He is going to play safe. All right, that'll bring Clint Clint Bearspaw back to the table, playing for Stroke of Genius. You can use headsets or earbuds. That is allowed in this tournament. Yeah, it depends on kind of where you go. There's some tournaments that we have up here in Canada that don't allow headsets. Some do. Myself personally, I don't like it. Jerry, I can tell you, Steven's team went undefeated through the event. And I can actually tell you, if you do want to follow along on CompuSport, that is where all of the brackets are, is on CompuSport. Oh, it was actually a rematch. So if you're talking about the Jet Setters versus War, War went all the way through the B-side. They won the B-side, came back around to play the Jet Setters again, and Jet Setters took it down. Yeah, but going back to the earbuds, myself, I'm not a fan of them. I feel if you're going to play pool, your mind should be in it and show your opponents the respect I think that they deserve, and not wear a headset or earbuds or earplugs or any of that kind of stuff. Pay attention to what it is that you're doing and show your opponent the respect that I think they deserve. But that's only my opinion. My pin master, David Wilson, giving you the link to CompuSport. Copy and paste that into your web browser. That'll take you to the brackets that you can follow along, or go back and check how a player did or a team did, where they finished. Although I will say, earplugs for me right now would be fabulous, because it is still really loud in here. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background, but it's pretty loud in here. Yeah, unless you're SVB, of course, indeed. But he isn't doing that for music. He's doing that so he can hear. And guys, if you are just tuning in, help me out. Let's get those viewers up. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. This is the B final in the B division. Winner of this will move on into the A final. It is the Mikisu Chocolat that is waiting on the A side. They've won the hot seat. Todd, what's going on, brother? And Phil, I believe, is going to play the safe on the 11 here. Nice shot. 11 comes to block the 6. Excuse me. 11 comes to block the 6 ball. 7 hampered by the 15. Really nice shot. And the only shot I see here is the kick at the 7 into the left-hand side pocket. really not a whole lot else. I think at this point, given that you've taken a lot of soldiers off the table, you got 2 balls left. Your opponent has all 7, and without soldiers in the fight, you got to go for it. You got to try to kick that 7 into the left side pocket. I'm not going to swing lightly at it. I'm going to dig down and try to go for it. And hopefully, guys, we'll also have, by the time we get to Niagara, I'm hoping that we'll have the Jacoby Black and the T3 jump break cue that we keep waiting on. They were supposed to be here already with the T3s, but the tips that were sent from Germany arrived and they were all cracked. So it has caused a little bit of a delay. But hopefully we'll have those 2 items with us in Niagara Falls. We will have some of the SS360 shafts with us as well. So Phil Dennis at the table. He's got ball in hand, working on high ball. And Marv up at the table here for hammer time on the left-hand table. I believe he's working on low ball. I could be wrong. Oh, 100%, David. The Jacoby Black, Ryan, is $475 USD plus shipping if you order it from Jacoby. Through us, we do have, or through Q Sports Live, we do have a little bit of a deal we can give you. It's not a massive deal, but it's still a deal on them. If you do want one, Ryan, just message the page. Message us on Q Sports Live. I'll get back to you. I'll let you know exactly what that deal is and how it's all going to work and operate and all the fun things that go with it, all the details. But yeah, that's where it's at. But a beautiful hitting shaft. We got to try those when we were in Niagara Falls, and that's the one I'm waiting on. I think if I was Phil there, I think I would have shot that 15 ball first. I'm going to shoot the 15 and push into the 6 to give me that shot that he just took with ball in hand. Creates a little bit of separation there and kind of opens up the table a little bit. What are my thoughts on the carbon fiber shafts? I can only honestly speak intelligently about the Revo shaft and the Jacoby Black. Both of those are the carbon fiber shafts. And if I had to compare them and kind of give you the Cole's notes and the goods, the bads, and the ugly of both, the Revo feels a little bit thick. Now, the carbon fiber shafts, regardless of who makes it, be it Q-Tech or Mez or Revo or Jacoby, they all hit really, really, really well, depending on what it is you like out of a Q. Because it is carbon fiber, the transfer of power from Q to Q ball is extremely good. Unlike the wood shaft where it does absorb some of the energy, you do lose a little bit of that transference from your shaft to the cue ball with a wood shaft. With a carbon fiber shaft, you lose a lot less. So it does feel like a really solid, true hit all the time. But the Jacoby Black, which we tried in Niagara Falls, the biggest difference I find is the taper on it. When you hit with a Revo, to me anyway, it feels like I'm hitting with a piece of lumber. It's really fat, really thick shaft. Whereas the Jacoby has a really nice taper, the same as what you would find on a wood shaft, which is kind of preferential to me. That's what I'm used to playing, is that taper. The tip size on the Jacoby Black tapers down to a 12.3 mil, which I also like, where the Revo, the smallest they go is 12.4, and I believe it's up to a 12.9, if my memory is correct. And Chris, the draw for the Jacoby was scheduled for March 13th, I believe. But as we stated when we started with that Jacoby draw, and this will be true with any of those Q giveaways that we're doing, once we've sold off enough tickets, then we're going to close that down. We have done that, so it is a closed down draw for, or a closed down giveaway for that Jacoby. We don't have them yet, Jim. They just sent out. So there's part of the problem is this: they are right now as popular or more popular than what the BK Rush was. So there is a massive, massive list. They are doing all radial pins first. They started doing that on the 28th of February, and once they have all of those shafts sent out that were on that list for radial pins, then they're going to start working on the list for all of the other pins. So it really does depend on what you want and how fast you can get on that particular list as to how long you're going to have to wait to get one. But I can tell you this much, Jim. I kind of know what you hit with because we have had very similar cues. And I will say this much. You're just going to want one. I already know it. And I believe Stroke of Genius puts another one up on the board. I don't know, Chip. I don't think you can make, I mean, carbon fiber is carbon fiber is carbon fiber. So I think hit-wise, they're going to feel very similar to one another. But where you do get a little bit of that difference, again, is in that tip size. 12.2, I kind of favor that even more than the 12.3 from Jacoby, but I haven't hit with it. So I can't speak intelligently about the Mez. I can only really talk about the ones I've hit with, which are the Jacoby and the Revo. Wow, there you go, Jim. If you do really want one of those, Jim, just message the page actually, or message me direct on Facebook, and I'll get back to you. I'll kind of let you know the deal that we can do on those Jacoby Blacks. Being one of our sponsors, we do kind of get to give a deal on those Jacobys. So, and I do believe we have anything that Jacoby makes, we can get a special deal on. So, whether that's the Ultra Pro shaft that has a 160 piece shaft, or a custom cue or whatever it is. If you want one, just go onto their website. Let us know what it is you do want, and then let us check and see what kind of a deal we can make.
These guys just playing two tables?
Yeah. And I'm just going to check and make sure my score is correct. 5-2. 5-3. I missed a game somewhere.
3?
Yeah. The specs on the Jacoby Black, the best place to get them, James, is actually on the website for Jacoby. JacobyCustomQs.com. They'll have all the information on those Jacoby Blacks, or Facebook, either one. I don't want to be misquoting them on any of their specs, so we just say head on to either their website or their Facebook page. That's going to be the direct source to get any of the specs that you're looking for. All right. I will, I'll see if I can get some actually. I don't want to misquote them. I know that they come standard taper size 12.3 mil. Anything more than that, I really don't know the specs on. But I'll see if we can either pull them up or I'll get something sent over from Jacoby. Holy Hannah, Todd. Take care. I believe Stroke of Genius got that one, so 5-4. Yeah, we're double checking on that website right now as well. Yeah, they have nothing on there. Yeah, the 140 piece. We're looking on the Jacoby site now, so they have nothing on the black, but that we have hit with that Jacoby Ultra. It's 140 piece shaft. We hit with that also in Niagara Falls, and if you want to stay with maple shafts, I'll tell you what, that is a really, really good hitting shaft. But that one again is low deflection. If you like a low deflection shaft in maple, that would be the one I would be going with.
They got the Ultra Pro and Super
Ultra.
Super Pro.
Yeah.
Ultra Pro and Super Pro. Super Pro is 11.75. Ultra Pro is 12.75.
Yeah, so I'd go Super Pro at the 11.75 if it was me.
Yeah. And
you would probably go the 12.75.
I'd go the Jacoby Black at 12.3.
Yeah, but out of those two shafts.
Yeah, I'd go the Pro, the Ultra Pro, the 12.75.
12.75. Yeah.
I used to be the Z shaft 11.75, but I started shooting. I shoot better with the thicker one.
Yeah. Oh, I will get those done for you, Shirley. My apologies. We got busy playing in the teams yesterday and this morning, so I apologize. We'll get that done right now for you. Steve, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, you are 100% correct, Ryan. The Bob Danielson SS360, indeed. Another really, really good hitting shaft. It's actually the one that all three of us here at Q Sports Live are hitting with right now. That is also Jacoby David Wilson. Steve, we finished in the 5-6 spot. You know it, Shirley. I have a really good memory. It's just short. Yeah, I didn't actually. Sorry, I didn't actually start using a smaller ferrule until about a year ago. Maybe a year and a half ago now. And now I find going back to a normal 12.75 is, I can't do it. It's like hitting with a tree trunk. Wow, Tom gets a beautiful little jelly roll on the left-hand table. Hammer Time regains another one. And I believe this is Gary on the right-hand table. We finished in the 5-6 spot. Would have been nice had we been able to play on the stream and be where Hammer Time is. They're the ones that put us out. But it was not in our cards today. This is the B-side final. The B final for this one. And it is Mikasu Chocolat that won the hot seat. So the winner of those, or sorry, the winner of this match will move on to play Mikasu. Has Chalk this started their C final yet? I'm not sure.
They're playing on half the room, still playing, so I'm sure there's.
Yeah, if you do want to find out, again, all of that information is available on CompuSport. It is a really nice hitting shaft, Jim. We, again, got to try that when we were in Niagara Falls in November, I think.
They're scheduled to start right away. Chalk this versus 5 guys and 8 eyes.
There you go.
C final.
So Greg Caron's at the table. He is with Stroke of Genius, about to 1-7. Sits pretty.
He's the genius stroker.
Yeah, this is the hit and the stick on a 1 ball. 2 into the right-hand side pocket. You know what, Jerry? It will depend. So here's kind of the thing that I do. I pretty much have not switched off the SS360 until this tournament, and I found I was struggling a little bit by using the SS360 on a valley table. I was overhitting everything, and that's because I was used to used to playing on valley tables. Sorry, I was just distracted there for a second. So I was used to playing on diamond tables, and when I came to this event, I found I was struggling a lot. So I actually switched out my shaft, and I started playing with the 314, and it seemed to work well.
Oh, you were here, Tony, yesterday. It's hard to find info booths. If you're in the Penticton area here, a good coach that's moved here now is Paul Pache.
Yep.
If you're interested, he's a pro-level player.
He's in Vancouver, though.
No, he's moved to Penticton. He's been living here in Penticton.
Oh, okay.
He's been here all week. Yep.
I gotcha.
Living here now. He does some instruction and teaching, but you know what? Talk to Gordon Sabrina and join a league. Join the league here. That'll get you out playing, introduce you to people, and it'll start getting you into some competitive pool, and you'll learn great through there. They got all different levels.
Yeah, I think an intro lesson with Paul would be money well spent, and then Absolutely. CCS leagues. They do play out of Penticton, Kelowna. That would be the start. Brenda, not sure of scores. We can only tell you what matches are going on. It is on CompuSport. But as far as the scores go, we're not sure. They're halfway across the room. So I'm going to switch us back over to the split screen. We do have another matchup. I will know that more on Monday, Neil. I'll get a hold of Brandon over at Jacoby, and I'm hoping. I don't want to say for sure. I'm hoping they might give us a little bit of special attention or special
Hopefully
deliveries for our viewers, but I will find out more on Monday. In fact, and actually, Neil, give me until Tuesday. We're driving back. We're going to be leaving at 6 a.m. If I get cell signal early enough or late enough, then I can give Brandon a call and find out.
8-hour drive ahead of us tomorrow, and then I got a double header in league tomorrow night. I just found out.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I've had enough pool.
You can look him up on Facebook. His last name is Pache. P-O-T-I-E-R, I believe is how you spell his last name. There you go. And you'll know when you look him up. He'll be the highly decorated pool player in Facebook. What is the best weighted cue for a woman just starting out? I wouldn't actually concern yourself, Brenda, with the weight of the cue when you're first starting. Excuse me. I would more concern yourself with basic fundamentals, approaching the ball properly, and more concentrating on your stroke than the weight of a cue. Obviously, you want to find something that is comfortable in weight for you, but I wouldn't put a lot of focus or attention on that. As we saw with Bethany Sykes when we were in Phoenix, her basic fundamentals are absolutely flawless. And if you can get your basic fundamentals down to that, then start worrying about the weight size, because it will change. And as your kind of progression in pool, as you get better, you're going to find you're going to want to change things up a little bit, different tips, maybe from a maple shaft to a low deflection shaft, all those types of things. So I honestly, if it was me giving you the advice, I wouldn't put a lot of thought into the weight of the cue. Find what's comfortable, and then just basic fundamentals from there.
Yeah, start with a bar cue. Try a couple different weights. See what you tend to like the feel of. And
absolutely, yeah. But I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't put too much focus on it. Find one that's comfortable and go from there. But start at the basics. Approach to the ball, your stance, how you bridge.
YouTube's great for instructional videos and
absolutely, yeah. Well, you're 100% correct there, Jerry. I wouldn't recommend hitting with a broomstick if you're playing in a tournament. But as we saw with Florian Kohler, all of his trick shots, jump shots, masses, he actually did it with a broom. And I guess the other piece of advice I would have
shot by Phil.
For you, Brenda, is I wouldn't put out a whole lot of money off the start because, like I said, as you kind of progress and as you get better and so on and so forth, you're going to want to change things up, and to put a lot of money out on a really expensive cue and then have your game change and have to kind of give that up to move to something else. Can get obviously a little bit expensive. So that would be my other side of the coin, or my other piece of advice for you. That 3-ball skidded a little bit. I was looking down the barrel of that when he shot that. That 3-ball skidded a little bit. And I think that kind of advice, whether you're male or female, the cue does not know your gender. The cue does not know whether it's a male or a female wielding the cue. And that advice is universal. If you are just starting out, there's no need to get into a Revo carbon fiber shaft putting out 475 USD. Not something I would recommend.
If you shoot right or left-handed, just make sure you get a right-handed cue or a left-handed cue.
Can you believe there was actually a guy that sold left-handed cues when when eBay first started? He was selling left-handed cues and made over $1 million off selling left-handed cues. Same kind of lines. Thinking about buying a Predator cue. You can't go wrong with Predator. They're a really, really good hitting cue. Right? It's a matter of the butt end really is the decoration of the cue. It's more the shaft that does the work. So whether it's a carbon fiber, low deflection, maple, with the myriad of shafts that are out there, then you add the tip to that, whether it's a medium, a soft, or a hard tip. All of those things kind of come into play. They do have effects on your game. So my advice always when you've got new players starting out, you don't need to go out and spend a huge amount of money on a cue. Start with the basics, get the basic fundamentals down. From there, don't be scared to try new things. Don't be scared to try a hard tip or a soft tip or a medium tip, and then just kind of customize it from there. Mike Williams is saying thank you to the Q Sports Live crew.
You guys are rocking it. Now we're gonna rock this.
Yeah. Do they work like left-handed scissors? Yeah, kind of something along those same lines.
Yeah, and if you guys do see us out at a tournament, come out. We got demo stuff. You can try out all our
absolutely
stuff. We'll give you our cues to go try. And
you bet. What's going on, Mr. Rutherford? John Duncan says the SS360 all the way.
I agree.
And you know what, John? I can't argue that point for sure. The SS360, great hitting shaft. I can't argue that. It's the one that all three of us at Q Sports Live use is the SS360. Nice attempt. I'm pretty sure he did not mean to put that ball into the left-hand corner.
No. I would have called that one, but
yeah, well. Well, guys, I think it is time for me to go check the weather, make sure that it's still cold here in Penticton. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands of Mr. Epp here for about 10 minutes. Then I'll come back. I'll join in again. So I'll be back here in about 10 minutes from now.
Go double check that it is 6'6". We are correct, 6-6. Marv on the left-hand table from Hammer Time. Yeah, I mean, if you're sort of the beginner level or starting out, you go buy a $1,500 cue, it's not going to make you play any better. Yeah, John, sorry we got a little busy. We're waiting to hear back from Richard as to when we're getting ours. They're at 475 US dollar price point. We've got a deal on if you order through us that I think you get a little bit off of that, and we include shipping. C final will be raced to 13, but they are way across the room, so no idea what the score is. Well, my one loss still driving me crazy on the A side of the singles was a kick on the 8-ball to go and win on the hill. That cost me. I'd rather me just miss the ball terribly bad and then it's my fault, not the table or the balls cost me with a skid and a kick like it did. Again, John, if you can just re-message the page so we'll start looking up tomorrow or Tuesday when we get back. We get so many messages, we miss the odd one. Just inbox us again if anybody's interested in that, and Tuesday we'll look at getting all the info out and confirm. I can give Richard a call tomorrow as we're driving or Tuesday morning and see how the progress on those thumpers are coming out. I know he's catching up on orders, and they had an issue with the tips on them. So he had halted all the orders going out, and we're changing all the tips out on them because they had a bad batch of tips. Yeah, it does get pricey. Which is I'm starting to sell off some of my little collection. I got a really nice Prevail handcrafted for sale that's been totally redone by Jerry. I got 4 shafts for the thing. I will get some pictures out. If anybody's interested in a Prevail cue, send me a message as well. I'll get some pictures out and pricing. I got was one I played with. But it's been totally redone. All the 4 shafts totally redone and updated to Jerry's new shaft design. He taken them all from me and refinished, so it's a brand new cue. I think I was trying to add up what I bought and sold over the last 3 years. I'm probably at about 80 or 85 cues that I bought and sold. Thanks. Thanks. I will. He's not on right now. Yep. I think I missed the game on the right-hand table. 7-6 for you guys. How long from Penticton to Calgary? 8 hours. As long as the roads are in good condition. When's the new season start, Shirley? The end of March. The spring session. Nice, Ted. Thanks, John. We'll, like I said, tomorrow or Tuesday we'll get back to you on that. I just want to confirm some stuff with Richard Splood, who is the maker of that thumper jump brake. He makes the shaft, and Jacoby makes the butt end of that. Yeah, and that's, I mean, I like a little bit of deflection in my cue, which, I mean, the SS360 I play with, I got a Prevail butt with the SS360 shaft. It's low deflection, but not zero. So it's got a little bit of deflection, plays awesome, I love it. I keep switching back and forth between the couple Prevail shafts I have for my playing cue now. Like I said, I have my old Prevail playing cue that's just been refinished with 4 shafts for it. My current Prevail playing cue, I got 4 shafts for it as well. I got two Prevail and 2 Danielson shafts. Is it a braking shaft? I got one that I got three playing shafts and 1 brake shaft for that one Prevail cue that I do have. I have a Prevail jump brake cue that I got 3 shafts for as well. Thanks. Yeah, well, that's finals. Everybody winning we're down to the B-side finals and the championship matches. So there's lots of cheering. You know what? I had one. It plays nice. I mean, we just, with the ivory ferrules, you got to be careful. Any ivory in any cue now, traveling with it. That's the only issue with the ivory. I think you can get in trouble going state to state. I know you can in Canada, or going back and forth between Canada and the U.S. with ivory. You can get in big trouble. Thanks, Leonard. Yeah, you know what? Facebook and YouTube, and it all depends on your connection speed and everything else. So he's going to get unlucky and scratch in this top right. Greg's going to be out here on that left-hand table with ball in hand. No issues. Yeah, I'm not sure how they tell all that. I've gotten rid of the couple cues that had ivory in. So Leonard, yeah, the last cue that I had ivory in that I got rid of was a Jim Pierce custom. Really nice cue. I loved it, but again, yeah, traveling back and forth. Didn't want any issues with it. Seven with Greg with the win. Yeah. No, it's 7-7, yeah. That is confirmed, 7-7. That's a messy end of the table down there.
Yeah, they're only playing on the top half of the table.
That's what Steve's looking at. I don't know. I don't know what he's shooting. I think he's high ball.
Yeah, that is that is rough.
That's a pretty good shot. Really nice.
All righty, David. Hey, shoot well, my man.
There's our PTZ, we swing back and forth. You guys have seen the different angles. Zooming in.
Hey, Fred, we went out in the 5th, 6th spot. And
Ticket drawing for show $2,600 roof credit. 214871 just happens to be Bill Lorette.
Bill Fenton wins the $2,600 Q package.
yeah, that's, I think, at a Tips Pro Shop.
Top
Tips.
Tips Pro Shop. Kara.
Yeah, not a terrible showing. Jet Setters, nope, they are finished.
On their way home, some
They
of
are,
them.
yeah, already on their way home with first place prize.
Well, Joe's still here tonight, I think, but yeah. Phil Dennis to break on the left-hand table.
Look at that shot. Wow. Nice attempt there. And looking down the barrel, I don't know if the 9 ball will pass that 1 ball. Where will
I
you
think
guys
that
be
one's
next?
a little deep.
Dean, we're heading out to Niagara Falls on a week Monday. We'll be going live on Tuesday. We may do a Q&A. It might be Ben and I over the weekend, do a Q&A session. This is the B division. This is the B-side finals. So we've got one more stream after this one
Your championship match.
for
Yeah.
the championships, and that'll be that. We'll be done, finished, and out.
Winner of this versus the Missakew something or other. They beat us, so I can't remember their name.
Mikasu.
Mikasu, and they keep the same name everywhere they go.
Yeah.
Mikasu Chocolate with their $30 truck.
Hey, no troubles, Dean. We appreciate everybody tuning in all weekend. As we mentioned, not quite the same coverage as what you're normally used to seeing. It's only Ryan and I here, and we ended up playing on the same team. So when we were playing in teams, obviously no commentary. So we apologize for that. However, we did the absolute best we could do, given the time frame that we had when we were playing. So we appreciate everybody sticking
it
with
out,
us.
yep.
Yeah. Been a really good tournament. We got to thank the CCS for having us back here again, as well as the Lakeside Resort.
Keep wanting to call it Lakeside Resort and Casino, but the casino's moved.
Yeah, it's now the Lakeside Resort and Convention Center. Hey, thanks, Dean. We muchly appreciate it. And I believe it is Gary on the right-hand screen. He is playing for Hammer Time. Looking not too bad. If he can hit and stick on this 6 ball, that 4 ball will go up. Sorry, I'll go down to the bottom left-hand corner. 7 will go to the top left. He's got to have a good shot to come around for the 8. I think it will pass. In fact, I would probably play position for the 8 ball into the left-hand side pocket. Thanks, Leonard. We certainly attempt to do our best. Oh, that actually worked out not too bad. So he's got 4-7 combination. Has to use some control on this shot, though. Hopefully that 4 will push into the 7 and through it, because your cue ball is going to track down table towards the, up table, I guess, as you're looking at it, towards where the 13 is sitting. Yeah, you and us both, Steve. We are really looking forward to Westerns. And good evening, Brian. How are you? We've got Phil Dennis on the left-hand table. He's shooting high ball. He is for Stroke of Genius, tight match. To be expected when you're in the B-side final, however. Both of these teams have certainly earned their way to get here.
Especially Hammer Time. They beat
Absolutely.
us.
They did. Oh, I'm sure it will, Steve. I know that Damien is working hard to get everything out. He's had a little bit of an insurgence in orders, so he is doing his best to fulfill and get them out in a timely manner. But I can assure you it'll be worth the wait. Really nice shot from Phil there. Does he get the 11 ball? He does. 11 ball, same type of shot. A little bit of a draw with some right hand, come off the end rail. Get some shape on the 12 ball. 12 ball into the top left-hand corner. Has to have a good angle and a really good shot on that 12 ball to get to the 15.
Yep.
Look out. All right. Plan B. I don't know if he's got enough of that or can hit that to put that 12 ball either cross bank. I don't even know if I would try the cross bank. I think I'm still going to put that up into the top left-hand corner. That was actually a conversation, Gerard, that came up yesterday as far as payouts and so on and so forth. And yeah, I agree. They're a little bit tight. But there's two things to consider. Number one, sometimes it's not about the money. Secondly, when you look at the difference in tournaments and even league play from tournaments or leagues that are held down in the States versus what happens in Canada, when you are either the APA or ACS or what have you down in the States, and you go to places such as Vegas or any of the, like the Soaring Eagle Resort and Casino, the resort and casino typically will add money into the event. They give you the room for nothing, and there's a whole bunch of perks that the league coordinator gets that in Canada we don't get, and that is simply due to regulations, where if you book at a hotel casino in Canada, the hotel and casino cannot be owned by the same company. So our costs in Canada far outweigh those in the States, where you look at a state-run or a U.S.-run event, it's almost an instant moneymaker for the organizer. Not so true in Canada, where we do have a lot more expenses to pay for. So when you consider all factors, all assets, all of the expenses that are put out, that's why the payouts are the way that they are. Right, you will get a little bit more generous payout when it comes to just strict tournaments that are held in Canada, but when you're talking about league play, they're somewhat at a disadvantage, I'll say, because obviously you have to pay for the rooms and you have to pay for the venue. You might get a little bit of a deal on it, But when this was the Penticton or the Lakeside Resort and Casino, obviously with CCS bringing in the number of people that they do, you figure you could make a little bit of a deal, maybe get some money added by the casino. But because regulations in Canada state that you have to have two separate owners of the hotel and the casino, they really don't kind of talk to each other. They don't really care if the hotel is booked or not because the casino draws in its own staffs or its own patrons. So it is, again, a little bit of a disadvantage when you're talking about league play. As a referee, just give me 1 second, Barb, and I'll read all of that. Myself, Barb, I'm not a fan of the headset. For me, it boils down to a simple matter of respect. Pay attention to the match, pay attention to what's going on. Have I seen issues with it? Yes. I've seen kind of both sides of that coin, where some players tune out and don't pay attention. Some players do wear them but do pay attention. But myself, I'm not a fan of the headset.
I tried wearing them once. It distracts me.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan. I think it doesn't show your opponent the respect I think your opponent deserves.
Yeah.
And the tendency is that you will not pay as much attention.
Shot clocks and pool tournaments, we got 40 tables here, you need 40 people to man them.
Will they find their way into pool tournaments? It's actually been talked about, and I think you're going to look or see more of that type of shot clock or timed matches. I think you might start to see those climb more into league play. I think that would be the first step in keeping a league playoff event such as the one that we're in run on time. I think you'll start to see that, and once that happens, once it starts to kind of crawl its way into the leagues, then I think you're going to start to see more utilization of it within other tournaments, money added tournaments, and so on and so forth. Now, when you're talking, I don't know, a $10,000 or a $20,000 added money tournament with a big entry fee, chances are you're not going to see them. And especially when you get down into the final, the B-side final, the A-side final, 9 out of 10 times you're never going to see a shot clock there unless it is stipulated beforehand. Will there be some vendors at Westerns? Yes.
Yes.
How's the match going? As you can tell, 7-7. It is a close one. Yeah, again, Barb, I'm not a fan of them. I would like to see no headsets on just about every rule book and tournament that's out there, including league play, league finals, all those kinds of things. I'm just not a fan of them. I don't know if that would necessarily be it, Gerard, with coaching. If I felt that, I would have the ref come over to make sure it is music that you're listening to, such as on an iPod or something like that. If you're plugged into your phone listening to music, then I'm going to say no, I don't want to see that. Yeah, exactly, Jim. And we did see the shot clock utilized, like Jim says, at the NAPT, but that was only in the finals when they got down to the final
semifinals, final
Yeah.
four, yeah.
You hear complaints about length of a match, and there I agree. I think, like they do in the APA, you have a certain amount of time to complete your match in the team event or singles event. And if you run out of time, you can finish off the games that are in progress.
Play
Once
2
those
more.
games are finished, whoever's got the most at the end of the time frame wins the match. And I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, once they call the time limit, they got 2 more games to be played. If one team's so far ahead, those 2 games can't catch up, it's done. But
Yes.
is
Yeah, and again, Gerard, that's where I would bring that up with the ref and say, look, I don't know what he's listening to. I have no way of knowing whether it's music or he's being coached. But that's that's up to each individual player. Again, for me, all of the other things that come up, whether you're listening to music or talking to somebody through Bluetooth, I think it boils down to basic respect. Have respect for your opponent. Take the earphones out. Pay attention to what's going on. You're here to shoot pool, not listen to music.
and you know what? If the way I look at it, if you're wearing headphones against me and you need to be coached while you're
Yeah.
playing me, I like my chances of beating you.
Yeah.
If you can't do it on your own.
Thanks, Barb. I appreciate it. And again, I do try to use that influence on where I can as far as headsets and so on and so forth. But I won't abuse my power, but I'll certainly put my 3 cents worth of advice in.
Well, there's Brian, one of our CCS refs as well. It's when you're playing the opponent, you call safe or call the shot, and the other guy can't hear you, and says, "I didn't hear you call that." Well, you got your headset on. Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, Brian. But I mean, even so, so here's an example of where rules can help but also hinder at the same time, where we get down to what the APA does as far as timing a match. And you have a certain amount of time to complete that match. So let's run the scenario where, for whatever reason, we're racing, let's say to 13 like we do here, and it's based on wins. Based on wins, and sorry, I just had Tom yelling in my ear again. So based on wins, and we come out of the gates, we're absolutely on fire. We get, say, a 7-2 lead, and then we kind of start to lose our focus a little bit. I know at that point, the entire team, we just slow play everything, right? We take our complete time, we slow play everything, we let the clock run out to the point where the other team couldn't catch up anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can play devil's advocate and try to wiggle down the rules. At the end of the day, pool comes down to one thing. Respect. Respect your opponent, respect their skill, respect your own skill, do what you're here to do, and play some pool.
It all depends. Like CCS, I know they allow it. I think the ACS, they allow it. I'm not sure about VNE. I don't think there's any headsets. BCA, I'm not sure.
I would agree, Barb, and I'd like to see it kind of revert back to that, where no headsets would be allowed. And if it was me running things, that would certainly be the way it would be. But I am simply another voice.
BCA doesn't allow it, okay?
Yeah, and I mean, again, right? I'll say this: it really does boil down to a simple matter of respect, not only for your opponent, but respect the time frame that you're given. And I'll give you one example of that. There was a team here, and We don't need to say who, what, when, where, what division, or anything else. Had their score sheet printed out. We're supposed to start a match, and 40 minutes later, neither team, they were there, they were present, but neither team had started their match. Well, now you've put everybody 40 minutes behind. They did that twice.
By the time they're all done, they're a full match behind schedule last night.
Yeah. So for me, that it just boils down to the same thing as wearing headsets, the same thing as paying attention, the same
Respect
thing.
the tournament.
Respect it. Respect what we're here to do. What's going on, Dallas? How are you, buddy? But this is, again, it's something that you're going to get two sides to a coin, no matter what. Whether you use time clocks, no time clocks, try to set time limits for matches, so on and so forth. You're always going to have those that try to skirt the system.
Well, I don't mind. Everybody likes to start on time, but I mean, if you have a few games that go to big-time safety battles back and forth, you know what? If they're playing and you started on time, everything, I don't mind waiting for that.
I agree.
But if you're behind because you guys are taking your time to start, you're sitting around talking, like, get going, get started on your time. But I mean, if you're playing the match, and I've been in a safety battle where I played a 25-minute game, and I understand that, but it's.
Yes.
If you're starting 45 minutes an hour late because you guys are just sitting around and practicing or warming up or chatting with the other team, get going.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Steve, for those that don't know, Barb McTavish that's been commenting, she was the lead coordinator for Southern Music for a long time. I worked alongside her. I was and still am the ref for Southern Music in Calgary. And it was one of the things that Barb really kind of instilled in me was to make sure people are starting their matches on time. So especially the first round. The first round, you got to get going. You got to be on time. If the first round is behind, it puts the entire day behind right from the start. So you'll notice when we play playoffs at SML, it'll be myself and whatever other refs are there. On first matches, we're going around to make sure that matches are started on time.
Yep.
And we kind of do that systematically and periodically throughout the day to make sure that we are on the clock, that we are running on schedule.
Yeah, well, and we did that. I did that in Nanaimo because we're Nanaimo and Westerns. Q Sports Live, we stream, and we are the tournament directors. We run it all for the CCS Westerns and Vancouver Island Championships. And I'm on the mic right away. Your matches should be now started. It's 9:04. You should be hearing breaking going on all over the room.
You bet.
Right? And Corey, to play singles in a CCS event, you do not have to have any weeks in a league. You can pay the $50 sanction fee and enter singles. I think it's singles and Scotch doubles. To play teams, you have to have weeks in a CCS league. So I don't know if you have any weeks in, or you play in a CCS league up in Edmonton.
Yeah. Do we run Calgary? We do.
Yep.
So again, right? We'll switch tables around. We'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that things are run on time and people are abiding by that. Now, if they're you're always going to have those teams that have the safety battles and they are behind. So you try to accommodate that as best as you can. But if your players are there and you're just shooting racks and running the table and you're running behind, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'll be coming around as a ref saying, let's go. This needs to start.
Well, and that's in Westerns. I'd have two teams coming in. I know they're turning in their score sheets. I know they play each other in 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
They're both up, and I had a couple times at the Westerns in April. I said, I got a couple tables if you guys want to go play right now and get ahead, because I had free tables. And a lot of them took it. Yeah, we don't want a 2-hour break. Well, give us 15 minutes. We'll get something to drink and go to the bathroom. And we'll come back. And I had things. I don't think we played past 12:30.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? You got to give it up to Shannon Benson as well, because he did the same thing here this weekend. and tried to shuffle tables, move tables because there was a few matches that lagged behind because of the safety battles and so on and so forth. The other one, again, those instances where the two teams just didn't start their match on time. We don't know why. We don't understand the reasoning. And really, when all your players are there and present, I don't feel there is a plausible or excusable reason for not starting.
Nor should a referee or tournament organizer have to go around and tell you guys to start your matches.
Yeah.
Or check if you started.
Yeah.
You guys get there. If you're behind schedule, there's no warm-up. Just get going.
Yeah. Would Battle of the Bands qualify you for weeks? I don't believe so. I don't know whether CCS, it may. I actually did hear something about that, Corey. We'll double check. I'll have that answer for you when we go live in Niagara Falls.
I could have had that answer for him in a few, but Ted disappeared.
Yeah.
I'd seen him sitting over here. Oh, there he is. You know what? I'll go run and ask quick.
Absolutely.
Just while we're here.
Sure. Hey, you're welcome, Pat. Thanks for tuning in. Gerard, for us, it's about the quality of the picture. The cameras that we have on these tables right now are Sony 4K cameras. They're about $1,000 a piece. So to have, for example, we've got a couple of different angles, as you can see with the split screen, and then we have the PTZ camera, the pan, zoom, tilt. That camera is about $3,000, and that one will hit just about any table in the room. So for us, it's not so much about the amount of coverage, but rather the quality of the coverage.
So, Corey, just talked to Ted, and he said everybody that plays in Battle of the Bands, you get an automatic sanction to play in any event in the Westerns.
There you go.
So if you play in the Battle of the Bands, that qualifies you to play 4 teams, anything in Westerns.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. Moncton was extremely well organized and really well run. Graydon, the app is called CompuSport. What a tight match we have going. So we have Greg Cairns. Excuse me, guys. My voice is starting to get a little bit coarse here. Hey, thanks, Chad. We appreciate it. We've got Greg Cairns at the table here. I believe he's shooting the 3-ball. I think he's putting that in. Gonna try to put that into the side.
He was looking to the side. I think I'd put that in the corner all day long.
Absolutely. I'm gonna put that into the side or into the corner pocket. I'm gonna put a stroke on it and come out for the 8 in the same pocket. He goes forward with it. 6-1.
Yeah.
Still works.
Again,
he's straight, dead straight into the top.
Yeah. Easy cut into the side too, but just a stop shot straight in that corner.
Yeah, I'm never gonna go to the side here. The top right-hand corner is more of an accepting pocket than trying to cut that into the side.
I put that signed in his mind. I'm trying to confuse him for his comments last night on the stream. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't. It's all in. But we're having a good time with Greg watching the stream. He went side just to...
Yeah, just to buck the trend.
See, he actually listened to me. So it could go on the side, and it's...
He did.
Should call him on a coaching foul.
Sounds good, Graydon. We will see you there, brother. This is a tight match. And Steve up on the left-hand table breaks. He does break dry. That will bring Marv to the table for hammer time with the opportunity. If he can run this rack or win this game, it will be a tie ball game again.
Did we score Greg's win there?
Mr. Dayton, we can't have that, brother. I know you guys are homies and brothers and what have you, but I can't have that comment on here, buddy.
End of April. That's the other side of the room from us.
Yeah.
Can't see.
No idea. Aiden, how are you?
7-year-old Aiden.
Indeed.
Thanks for watching, yeah.
Thanks for watching with your dad.
I figured I missed Greg's win.
No, it's all good. It's all good, Robbie. I know that you guys know each other, but not everybody gets that. Not everybody understands that. And just negative comments, I can't have them, because then if I give one leeway because you guys know each other, two things can happen.
I know everybody and I'll go crazy.
it gives everybody the excuse to say, well, he did it, how come I can't? And it does give the impression, if you're tuning in with no volume and you just see that comment, we don't do anything about it, it gives the impression that we allow that kind of stuff. So, again, I do understand, Robbie, and I'm not worried about it. Hey, no troubles at all, Brian. Yeah, they're already starting to rip out tables here, so it is extremely loud. And we're only down to, I would say, a quarter of the room being used now. I don't think it will be Chocolat, to be honest. Let me just check on CompuSport and see. It will actually be the A-side final. So the winner of this will be taking on Mikisew Chocolat. Oh, yeah, okay, there you go. So you are correct. I was thinking more Mikisew than Chocolat, but yes, they will be up next. No, no worries. No worries, Robbie. That's why I said it. I just, I couldn't do it, couldn't allow it. And like I said, I know you guys are bros and all of that kind of stuff, so I wasn't overly concerned. I knew you wouldn't take offense to it. And to be honest, I didn't either, but like I say, the impression is if you're watching without volume on, it gives the wrong impression. Stroke of Genius takes a 2-game lead over Hammer Time. We have Clint Bearspaw for Stroke of Genius on the right-hand table. Looking to do something with this 2-ball, but not really sure what he's going to do and how he's going to get to the 5 here. Side bank, draw into hopefully the 15, or sorry, the 13. You know what? It's got to be a corner bank. Corner bank on the 2. Past the 11 ball, puts him in at nice breakout angle to get to that 5 ball. Yeah, I didn't think he'd get there off the side bank. Once they have the tournament built, I'm pretty sure Gary Benson is going to run that one. And as soon as he has all of the entries in and everything confirmed, he'll get it built within CompuSport. Either matching shirts, and if they didn't come down with matching shirts, then you can buy one of the event shirts from one of the vendors. Oh, no problems at all, Graydon. So we'll see what happens here with Clint. Gonna have to maybe do a safety here on the 5 ball. Merv brings Hammer Time within a game. We got a tight match going on here, guys. But even with the safety on the 5 ball, if you touch that 5, it kind of breaks out that 13 ball. What's going on, Jackalope Hunter? How are you, Alex? So do you graze? This is, I guess, the shot I would try if I'm at the table. I'm going to graze the left-hand side of the 5 ball, push the 13 over to the cluster of 15, 12, and try to put some right-hand spin on the cue ball and leave it behind the 8 in line with the 14. Do you have any idea on what you'll be giving away in draws this year in Niagara? The draws that we will be doing are a little bit different now that we have to kind of do things differently by not doing Q raffles. Raffles we are not allowed to do, but we will have some things there. We'll have some Jacoby product. We're hoping that we'll have the T3s. We're hoping that we'll have some of the Jacoby Blacks that you can try out, and various other cues. Yes, you do need matching shirts for Calgary, or if one of your teammates forget their shirts or don't have them, you can buy the CCS event shirts from one of the vendors. Those will qualify. The Q raffle thing was kind of kiboshed back in September. We had somebody, we have a good idea who it was, but we won't say kind of the who's, what's, when's, and where's. But we had somebody call in and report us for doing illegal raffles. We thought we were covered because we did have a license at that point. However, we were explained by the Calgary Police that in fact that was not covered, and really kind of told under no uncertain circumstances that we need to refrain from doing Q raffles. We were looking at a $10,000 fine and potential jail time had we continued, which was enough for us to say, okay, we won't do Q raffles anymore. But we did get a hold of a lawyer to figure out exactly how we can do what we have been doing just in a legal way. And so we have a Q giveaway. And how this works is this. We've created what we're calling the CSL Viewer Advantage, which is a combination of all of our sponsors going into a discount package that you purchase for $20. Within that Viewer Advantage is an entry into a Q giveaway. So it's no longer about the number of tickets that are sold. We have to set a draw date, and once that draw date is set, we have to do the draw on that day. Unless we have sold enough tickets to cover what we need to cover, then we can end the contest and do the draw.
Something like that.
Yeah, we have
Andrew.
no comment, Andrew. We will do kind of the same thing with the 50-50 draws that you see going on. We will do something with that runs somewhat the same way in Niagara Falls.
From the ladies team event, first place is Breaking Bad Girls. Second place is Not Hard Enough.
So that is why we...
Victoria Bad 5.
Sorry, they're just announcing here over the microphone, guys.
Fourth is 8 Ball Magic. Congratulations, all.
So that's kind of why we lost our PayPal account. You'll notice that we don't have that anymore. Not only did we lose it, we lost it with the cash that we had in there, which was close to $2,000. Once we had the Q giveaway thing done. We tried it again with PayPal. They then took that as well. So it is a learning curve. It's a learning lesson.
That's
but
why
we
we got the GoFundMe.
That is
They
why
ha-
we
they
got the
haven't taken
GoFundMe.
that yet.
You bet. Yeah. we appreciate that, Graydon. Hey, thanks, Andrew. You know what? At the end of the day, we took that lesson and we certainly lost a lot of money there. It could have been very, very detrimental. When we were hauled in front of the Calgary Police Service, they could tell that we were attempting to do things the right way because we did have the license, and we put that on all of the posters with the license number and so on and so forth. And when we were kind of pulled in by them, they said, look, we realize and we can see that you are trying to do it the right way. Unfortunately, it's still not done the right way. And I mean, we could have let that stop us, but it didn't. Instead, we used that as fuel to be bigger, badder, and better. And when you look at the Q giveaways that Q Sports Live does now, we are the only ones, and I'll repeat, the only ones out there that are doing it legally.
And
every other Q raffle that you see without a license is an illegal raffle.
And next time, if somebody's calling in to get us in trouble, make sure that I didn't go to high school with a detective that's investigating us.
That helped.
It helped out.
What's going on, Darcy? Yeah, 100%, Andrew. I mean, you know what? We've said pretty much all weekend long here that we have the absolute best viewers, the best supporters in the business. And without you guys tuning in, helping out, sharing the stream, one of the other important parts of the puzzle to help us keep going, to help us keep doing these events, is when we do put up our sponsors like the Jacobys, the JB Cases, Karma Tattoos, Jam Up. Whether you're going to buy their product or not really at this point is irrelevant. However, what is very, very relevant, very, very helpful is to go on to their Facebook page, their media outlets. Let them know, guys, we appreciate the support that you're giving to our sport, because as honest as I sit here, without those guys doing it, without the sponsors, there's no way that we could be at the events that we go to. It just wouldn't happen. Without the sponsors, we don't happen. So they absolutely deserve all the respect in the world. They deserve the shout outs, they deserve the likes, and that's kind of what we count on our viewers for, is give them a shout out, go onto their Facebook page, let them know you saw them on Q Sports Live, you appreciate what it is that they're doing for the sport, because at the end of the day, without the support from our sponsors, we aren't here to bring it to you. And honestly, without you guys tuning in and sharing it, we're not here either. So as much as we can take credit for pushing through, going forward, doing as many of these events as we can, we couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are the biggest piece of the puzzle, and will always continue to be that way. And we are eternally grateful for it. Will we get the money back from PayPal?
Eventually, hopefully.
Yeah, yet to be seen. We're hopeful that that's the case, but it really hit us at a critical time.
Yeah.
And it was a decent amount of money that was in PayPal, a few $1,000s on the first one, and as of this last one, another.
I think we're around 2,500 that they're holding at some point between three accounts.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those learning lessons that you go through when you're developing business and kind of how to put things together and how to make it right and how to do it legally and all these things. You know, and for those that are tuning in right now, we did have, and I'm going to be a little bit elusive here on purpose, but not on purpose. We did have some draws going on this weekend, and people asked what happens to the unclaimed cash portion of the draws that we have going on. This is exactly what's going to happen with it. We are going to Niagara Falls. Myself and Denise Belanger are doing a Pie in the Face challenge to raise some cash and raise some awareness for our junior program. The junior program is where that unclaimed cash prize is going to be donated to. It's not something CSL takes. We don't put it in our pocket. We're going to take it. We're going to give it to that. It will be to the junior program. So we are here for you guys as much as you're here for us. And when we say we're in support of the game, we're in support of the sport, that's exactly what we're talking about. And that Pie in the Face challenge is going to be a lot of fun. Raise some awareness for juniors, raise a little bit of cash for them, because that's the future of our game. That's the future of our sport. Absolutely, Graydon. Have we considered creating a Discord for Q Sports Live? Not sure what you mean there.
Yeah, no idea what a Discord is.
Breakdancing actually didn't happen as much as I wanted it to. We were streaming till the early hours of the morning, and by the time we got finished, we played. The one day that I could have done it, which was whatever day the 9-ball started, the 9-ball teams.
Friday.
We lost our first match quite handily. The 9-ball team event. We started at 9 o'clock in the morning. We lost our first match 11-1, and we ended up battling back and playing all day. And we placed third in the 9-ball. And by the time we finished that day, I was absolutely drained of all energy. So I will get it done. I promise you, I will get it done. I just don't know when at this point, but we will get it done. Gerard, when it comes to live streaming with our business model, there's really not a lot that are like-minded or similar to what it is that we do. We're kind of the trailblazers. As much as there are other streaming companies out there that do pool, by far we're the largest out there in North America, and we're the ones blazing the trail. And anytime I've run a business, my whole mindset is I don't much care what our competition does. We do our thing, and we try to be the leaders of the pack. Again, it all comes down to cash with doing the Discord and being able to run all of those types of things. It all comes down to cash. And Barb, yes. I was going to dance. No, Tim, you didn't miss it. It's not been done yet. And they do, and I've never watched one. I don't know what it is that they do at ITTF, but I can look into it, I guess, and have a look. Alec, no, this is not the last match. This is the B-side final in the B division, so we'll have one more after this. With all the playing, do you feel that I've improved? That's kind of a double-edged sword, because we certainly have improved table knowledge, table mapping, I think is a direct result of watching and doing the streaming. But when it comes right down to it, to actually playing, we cover off a lot of hours doing the streaming and commentating, and by the time we actually get to the matches side of things, all of us are pretty tired and worn out. That being said, if we're not doing large events, like this one's a 5-day event, the next one is a 4-day event, the next one after that is, I think, a 3-day event. The 3-day events aren't that bad, so I tend to play a little bit better in those ones, where with these 5-dayers, it is an honest to goodness grind. We put in a ton of hours, so playing sleep deprived most of the time is probably not the best thing for the game. Thanks, Barb. Tickets for sale on the Q giveaway. Yes, we do. As far as juniors go, shout out to him. Tyrell Blowers, I think, is how you pronounce his last name. 15 years old, is a monster. One of the elements that we're going to be adding to Q Sports Live is exactly this. We will be looking for a couple of juniors that we are going to add to our fold of sponsored players. But prior to that, and I'm kind of putting the cart before the horse, we have to be able to get to a position where it makes sense to do that.
CompuSport Wendell
Yep.
has all the brackets.
Absolutely. Wow, that was a really long tangent.
Uh-huh.
I think we should maybe do some commentating on pool.
Probably.
I have spent a lot of time with Barb when she was doing the league coordinator for Southern Music. Nice shot on the left table there. Spent a lot of time with Barb McTavish when she was running the league for SML. Some of them were absolutely, positively, and completely sleep deprived humor, and we've had a lot of good laughs, Barb. I'll say that. You know what, Gerard? That's exactly how this whole me dancing thing started, was the fact that somehow we got onto the conversation that pool is not going to be in the Olympics this year, but they're considering break dancing in the Olympics.
Well, we had talked to...
I can't fathom. I don't understand
and
it.
see, we talked to Florian Kohler at the APA in Niagara Falls in November, and he was on the committee to try to get France to put billiards in the Olympics, right?
Absolutely.
Then
yeah.
billiards and breakdancing, I think, is what it came down to, the two or something or other.
Breakdancing, and I can't remember all the ridiculousness that was on that list. That somehow they keep putting things in front of pool, and I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know what else do we need to do as a pool community. Are there fundamental flaws within our game? Of course. Do we need to be able to, or do we need to fix things within the game? Of course. Part of that is structure. There is no system currently in place that says this is how you go from being a sub-junior into a junior, into amateur play, and then from amateur to semi-pro, and then from semi-pro to pro. There is no system in place for that right now that says this is how you do it, and this is the regulatory body that regulates that. That just doesn't exist right now, and I think it's definitely one of the fundamental flaws within our sport. If we could have somebody put that together, structure it, and the players band together and support it, we could probably get there. But that's the only way I think the sport's going to grow. It's the only way that we're going to get outside sponsorships from the big guys, the Cokes, the Nikes, the Pepsis, Budweiser, all those other big monsters that put money into things. I think that's the only way it's going to happen. We have to have the structure along a myriad of other things.
There's a good idea. Well, get Dan Grant dancing around the table while I break, and we'll call that break dancing from Q Sports Live.
Yeah, there you
How's-
go. You know, AJ, it's definitely one of the topics of conversation that has come up between myself, Ryan, and Ben. Part of that might be the first step in putting together a players' association. But again, you're putting in a ton of time in a players' association. And that's got to be step one. From there, you create the structure and the regulatory body that says, okay, this is what we're going to do. Now, I've stated that we wanted to be able to support the NAPT. They are looking at very, very similar things in putting that structure in place, which is why you will see, hopefully, us back there again with supporting the NAPT. Well, wow, am I ever going to go off on a lot of tangents today? Fargo rate. I'll preface my next little run here by saying I'm a big fan of Fargo rate. However, there are still fundamental flaws within Fargo rate. Part of that is when Fargo rate first came out, they partnered up with exclusively with BCA, and I think that was a somewhat of a mistake, sticking with just the BCA as a exclusive partner. Part of the reason behind that is not everybody plays BCA. You've got obviously CCS, you've got SML, you've got all these places that on one side SML is BCA sanctioned, on the other it's not. You've got VNEA, then you've got TAP, you've got APA, you got all these other players out there that don't necessarily associate themselves with the BCA. And trying to build the Fargo rate to be the world leader that it needs to be, you need to have access to all information on all players. And when you partner exclusively with one single company, you're missing a whole lot of data on a whole lot of players. Andrew, I will definitely give Greg a high five for you.
To the face.
That being said, I certainly am a fan of Fargo rating. I think they're on the right track. I think they made one flaw in the early days of getting started in business and going with BCA exclusively. But certainly they are missing a lot of key data, and if you're going to be the world leader and you want to take on that role, you need to have all the raw data and as much data as what you can compilate. I don't know whether that's a word, compilate, as what you can compute on as many different players as you can. Thanks, Barb. The problem is, though, Ted, is Fargo rate has guaranteed the BCA exclusive rights to the Fargo rate. So it can't happen. It can't, like, APA is not going to partner with somebody who has given exclusive rights to a direct competitor of either APA, CCS, blah, 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 with all the other leagues that are out there. That just doesn't make any business sense. And there I'll agree, Gerard. But up until this point, you don't get players associations. You've got leagues out there, and depending on what league you play, that's kind of the rules that are governing. But there's really no players association that is there for the players, not any given tournament or any given league around the planet. We need a full-on players association that says, if you want the players to support you, here's the guidelines as a league or a tournament that you need to follow.
Ooh, the head ref. Let's put him on TV.
So the head ref, this is Jeff Pythian at the table. He is the head ref for all of CCS.
I don't know where Clint's trying to call this one, but that's what he's looking at, is that 6 ball.
I think he's trying to cross bank this. He's going to hit this with some low right-hand English. Just like this. Good hit.
Spun a little too much.
Yeah, spun a little bit too much there, but a great hit. So sorry for all my side tangents going on a myriad of different topics.
It's helping me out. My throat's sore, so you keep talking away, and it's giving me the break.
Yeah, and I think you're correct, Gerard. I think there's got to be a lot of input from players on exactly what players want to see. What do we, I won't say demand, but what are our expectations as far as players? What do we want to see? What do we want to put forward? And I would agree with you. I agree, Ted. And I think it was almost a fundamental, basic flaw when Mike Page first started Fargo Rate to give exclusivity to one company right off the hop. I think that could be one of the biggest mistakes that was made with Fargo Rate, because let me tell you, I'm a big fan. Not only to be used as a fair rate or a fair match system, but it kind of gives a side effect that I don't think Mike Page kind of counted on, or we as players didn't count on, that when I see the top 100 in Canada and I'm an established player and maybe I'm 50 names away from being on that top 100 list, it gives me something to strive for. It gives me something to compete for more than a tournament prize fund or stats in league.
All over.
That's it. Sorry, in my ramblings, the match ended. Hey, no worries, Barb. I can talk with the best of them. I can ramble on for hours. I've put a lot of thought into what it is that we're actually talking about. I have done some fact checking. I've done a little bit of my homework on what I'm talking about, so I can speak for the most part intelligently about it and kind of where I think it should go and what we need to do as a sport and as players, as people that love this game. There's a lot we need to do in order to kind of correct it and make it good or better than what it is. And that's by adding the structure, by adding a players association with a level of expectation, and take it on a big scale. I'm talking, it's got to be done on a big scale.
Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours. We're going to reset here for the final.
Absolutely. So I just want to make sure we've got everything here. Would it be hard to get all league sanctions to get on the? Absolutely, AJ. And think about it this way: all of the leagues that are out there, think of them as separate businesses, right? And you're not going to kind of get into bed with your competitors. And there are going to be guys out there that are bigger that want more a piece of the pie than some of the smaller guys. And the smaller guys are going to say, well, we're giving the big guys more exposure. However it happens, I don't think you're going to get all of the leagues kind of joining in as one big group. It's just not going to happen. It has to be started from ground up, ground level, put out like Gerard says, by consensus to gather information on what players want to see, so on and so forth, and then build it from there. And you're 100% correct, Ted. It's almost got to be put together as a nonprofit where it has structure to it. But that being said, guys, I could ramble on about this kind of stuff for days. We do have to do a quick shutdown, restart, get ready for the A-side final now in the B division, the championship match. Yep. But Gerard, I'm interested in kind of getting some more of your feedback. Send me a friend request on Facebook. My last name is Zemp, Z-E-M-P. Send me a Facebook request or a friend request there, and we can certainly talk about it. The more people we can get involved, the better off it's going to be. So it's easier for you to contact me, Gerard, than it is for me to contact you. So send me like I said, send me a friend request on Facebook. We can chat some more. In the meantime and in between time, we are going to do a quick shutdown, restart, get ready for the finals. Guys, get ready for it. It's going to be a fun time. So on behalf of myself, Grant Zemp, Ryan Epp, the rest of the CSL staff, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back here in a short few minutes.